Hey kid, do you want to watch a movie with a whole lot of milka?
What does that mean?
Just drink this milk.
You ready to talk some movies, Brennan?
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's go. Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Hi, welcome to the Corrupted Youth Podcast. I'm still Dan,
I'm still Brennan.
and we're a father and son duo that explores the latest blockbusters, classic genre films, and the schlockiest of golden age VHS rental store flicks, and spoiler-heavy fashion.
And boy, do we have a VHS rental store flick today.
Ooh, schlocky.
Schlocky, very schlocky.
Yeah, so we are doing To All a Goodnight from 1980, which I'm surprised there's not more movies named this,
Right, yeah.
because it comes up right away if you start looking for it.
That's interesting.
You think like this would be the title of a Hallmark movie or something,
Yeah.
which would have been funny if we accidentally started watching.
Like all of our drive time specials where we accidentally watch another movie.
Yeah, so let's just cut to the chase here. First time viewing for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is my second viewing. I'd actually watched this not I'd say like a couple weeks ago. It was early December for sure. And I just decided to put it on to kill some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, Brennan needs to see this. It needs to be witnessed.
Yeah.
And then I heard it get brought up on Hello, This is the Doom Show. They brought it up.
Shout out.
Yeah. Hi, Richard. Hope you're listening. I mean, I just kept thinking, this is so bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And I messaged you right away.
Yeah.
Like, while I was watching it, saying we have to watch that and cover it. And I wasn't sure if it was going to happen or not, but it did.
Yeah, and I'm glad it did too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a spoiler for how we feel about this to some degree.
Yeah.
I had never heard of it before.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be talked about more.
Well, I don't think it was a commercial success. We'll put it that way.
Well, yeah, but like cult wise, like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is a limited amount of Killer Santa movies out there, I think. I mean, there's a lot, but older ones in particular.
yeah.
And yeah, this one came out before Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is interesting. But it also predates Friday the 13th.
Oh.
It was in the IMDb trivia, it said that this was the first slasher of 1980
That's really wild.
because it came out in January, which
Kind of missed the mark.
oop. Yeah, probably. And you know, like Silent Night, Deadly Night had a whole lot of hype behind it because you know people had the Killer Santa. No, you can't do that. You know, and so there was protests and everything.
Oh, that's the best.
For that, and that really just catapulted that movie to
yeah.
success for sure, and probably would have not been as well known without all that hype. So this one probably just came out. I don't think that in 1980 January was considered a time to just dump your crap movie in the theaters like it is now, but I don't know, maybe it still was. I mean, nothing beats like putting your Christmas movie out a month after Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. A month before, that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah. But, what was it? Like Miracle on 34th Street was a Christmas movie. And that was wildly successful. And that was released in the summer.
What?
Yeah. So I guess maybe there is no formula.
Maybe everyone is celebrating their own stripper Christmas summer weekend.
That's true.
If you get that reference, you're my friend.
Slight connection to last month's episode as well.
There's your clue.
And if you're confused, yeah, we have a trailer for this one. It's long. I think I'm gonna edit it out bits from it to just make it more condensed. But man, it's one of those great old trailers where they just showed everything, and they didn't hide any of the nudity either.
And that's just on YouTube.
Yeah, and you want to get those butts in the seats.
Right. Yeah. So what? They already paid for their ticket. What are they going to do?
Right. Give the people what they want. Typical rant for me about people complaining about trailers spoiling everything now, where it's always happened, gang. So reference any episode where I bring that up. It's most of them. Yeah. Let's show that trailer. I guess we're just playing it. Can't show it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can show it.
You can listen. Like, we can watch it.
Visualize it in your brain.
Right.
Here we go.
Imagine milk.
It was the start of Christmas vacation. A few were staying, and they planned to have one hell of a good time.
I would sincerely like to wish all those students leaving for Christmas vacation a pleasant journey and the happiest of holidays.
TJ is coming up with a few of his friends tonight.
The dean of the school was away, so the girls decided to invite their boyfriends. It was against school regulations, but they were always very good at breaking the rules. This time, they'll wish they hadn't.
You must pray. Pray so the devil won't claim you for one of his own.
Santa came to kill.
What the hell are you doing up here in that dumb outfit?
Even the police didn't suspect Santa Claus.
Oh, Tom, take that bloody mask off. Take me to bed.
No one suspected Santa Claus. He was hunting for blood. He was everywhere. What kind of a crazed mind was killing and mutilating his victims? There was no one to help. No one at all. They ran, they cried, they died. Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good night.
Yep, that was it.
Wow.
Fascinating.
Great.
All the things from the movie. You want to see a kill?
They heard it.
Yep. Any of the interesting ones are in the trailer. Oh, yeah. IMDb info. Some interesting stuff in here, actually.
Ooh.
Okay. To All Good Night from 1980. According to IMDb, it says, a group of teenagers at a party find themselves being stalked by a maniacal killer in a Santa Claus costume.
It's very basic, but
I like it.
yeah, straight to the point.
Doesn't reveal too much.
No.
The director is David Hess. You probably don't really know him, but I guess, well, he was in the original Swamp Thing movie. He was the bad guy who got his head squished. He was the real jerk one.
Yeah.
I think you would probably know. You go, oh yeah, of course. Like that dude, just class A asshole. And yeah, that's kind of how his career got started. He was in Last House on the Left. That was another Wes Craven film, because he also did that original Swamp Thing.
Was it good?
Last House on the Left?
Yeah.
Ugh, it's icky for me. Too much rape in it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't.
that's not fun.
Yeah, I like rape revenge.
Death Wish scenario.
Yeah, I don't know. That's usually where I start getting tuned out.
Yeah.
It gives me the ick, and I don't like it.
I agree.
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, like there are better ways to motivate your heroes.
I mean, if you want to do the worst
thing
possible, yes, that's it. Yeah, I tend to avoid anything if I find out it's in there. We've had a couple movies that we've covered, I think, that had bits, but never really explicit.
Yeah, nothing full blown.
Yeah.
Full throttle rape.
Can you believe you said that? All of it's terrible. But anyways, so yeah, Last House on the Left, he did the soundtrack.
Oh.
And I knew that was a thing. But I also did not know that he did music for Elvis and Pat Boone. Like
What?
he wrote some music.
That's wild.
Yeah, for like a while in like the 50s and 60s.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So he has like whole music type career things that he did.
Huh.
Which is very interesting. So he wasn't just a sleazy actor and director of the sleazy movie, which doesn't, I guess this isn't like, it's not the sleaziest I've ever seen.
No.
It's actually kind of tame in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Where it feels like some of the sleaze is more of an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, we got to make this kind of sleazy, don't we?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too because the soundtrack for this movie isn't really all that great.
Yeah, and I don't think he did it, so
It kind of shows.
I mean, I can look it up, but
Meh.
I'm kind of tired
Meh.
after Christmas.
Who cares?
Written by Alex Rebar. I don't know who that guy is necessarily. Not looking him up either, so you can do that on your own. As far as who it stars, mostly nobodies who were in this
Whole
movie.
lot of blank faces. That's how I see.
Yeah.
No pictures.
Your biggest ones in here are going to be Jennifer Runyon, plays Nancy. Probably most famous is girl at beginning of Ghostbusters when Venkman is electrocuting the boyfriend.
Which is a pretty big gig.
Yeah, and I remember thinking right away when I saw her in this, I was like, I know her from somewhere.
Yeah.
It was an instant, yeah, she's recognizable. She's got a fair amount of credits, so, you know.
Good on her.
Yeah. Can't really say this is her best work. I can't say that for anybody in this, and that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
We got Kiva Lawrence, who played the house mother, Mrs. Jensen, in this. Yeah, pretty much worked until she died. Like,
Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
probably good. I mean,
She probably liked doing it. She did a good job in this too.
yeah. The Detective Polanski, he's done a bunch of work. Also dead. A lot of dead people in this. Ooh, yeah. In the pilot, oddly enough, Harry Reams, porn star.
Oh.
Did a lot of, I mean, he has like acting stuff, but also there's a degree where back in, say, like the 70s or whatever, there was more acting in that. And there really wasn't a distinction of, hey, this is just pornography. The line was a lot more blurred back then between, real movies and porn, which is weird, but, it also didn't help anybody's career, really.
Or there's, what was it? That last slasher we covered that just had porn in it.
That is true.
That's kind of meta, honestly.
Go back to our summer slasher camp episode, Night Screams.
That was good.
Lots of confusion. Yeah, this actually reminds me a lot of Night Screams in some way.
Yeah.
It's kind of same basic premise.
Same setup in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's like, hey, we got a house. Let's film it. This is apparently filmed in like 10 days, too.
Oh, that's kind of impressive.
Well, it shows. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it is dude's first movie, too. So there's that. I mean,
got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Don't recall seeing a boom mic, so I guess good on him there. But there's definitely like a couple odd shadows that I know appeared where I was like, wait, what? Huh? Am I supposed to be seeing this? Is this part of the movie?
A lot of actors saying a line and then the director just going, yeah, that's all right.
Go for it. Yeah, some natural acting in this too, I think. Like not terrible. It's not the worst.
No.
They're not great. Nobody's getting an Academy Award for this movie, but generally, like if anybody delivers anything really flat in this, I'm like, yeah, enjoyable. That's it for that, I guess. We move on to our rundown of, and then I tried to condense this down as much as I could. So there may be things like I definitely know when I got to the end, I was like, oh, I totally spaced out where this character actually gets plopped in.
Yeah, characters tend to disappear.
Yeah.
They just kind of apparate. And like, they're just like, oh, that guy's alive, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird, what the heck is going on stuff in this too.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, it kind of makes sense at the end. And there's going to be a spoiler for this. There is a twist ending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to throw that out there. I think it works to the benefit, and oddly enough, answers a lot of things you may have questioned. So
yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this is at the Calvin Finishing School for Girls. And it starts off, didn't it say like present day or like today in the beginning?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I always love that because it always ages so well.
Mm-hmm.
But
present day.
Yeah. Strangely enough, with some of the fashion, so
come back.
Kind of almost could pass for today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it starts off. There's like a whole lot of prank going on. There, girls chasing another girl. They got like.
Wasn't this 2 years in the past?
Yeah, but I thought it started off present day, and then it says like 2 years later.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong. I should know this. I watched it twice. But yeah, this prank goes wrong. You know, they're like chasing this girl, and a dummy falls off a balcony.
Great
and
dummy.
Dies.
Great dummy.
Oh, I think that's what sold me on this entire thing. I'm like, wait, we're gonna get that fake of a dummy like fall that fast
right away.
Oh,
wasted no time.
Yeah,
we should time it. How long does that dummy fall in the movie?
But yeah, it's definitely now that it's happened, I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you have the 2 years later. So 2 years after that event from now, whenever. When is then?
When will then be now?
Yeah. A group of horned up girls stay behind during Christmas break because a lot of other people are leaving. The car from Paperboy shows up, and screw that car.
Just want to throw a bunch of newspapers at it.
Oh, that old timey car. Oh, just.
What's next? A breakdancer? The Grim Reaper?
The Grim Reaper does show up. Dun dun dun. Yeah, this whole bit just kind of cheesy set up, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the plan is that some girls planned on staying behind. So one of them could have her boyfriend TJ show up with some of his buddies, and everybody's just kind of like gonna couple up and have a party. And it's against the rules to have anybody outside come in,
especially guys.
Yes, because it is an all-girls finishing school. I'm not sure how old any of these. I'm going to call them girls throughout this episode, just because it's a girls' school.
Mm-hmm.
That description says that they're teenagers. I think they're all older.
Definitely.
Which is, I think it's more like a college thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is a finishing school?
Yeah. What do they even do?
What is that?
I didn't see like a single piece of homework.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
And we also have like, it's California. I'm sorry, California. But here in Wisconsin, we have a thing called snow. and I know there's parts of California that get it, but none of this gives a feeling of Christmas whatsoever.
No.
They can hang up all the lights that they want.
Yeah.
And it's sparse.
It is.
The decorations feel like an afterthought.
It feels like someone just left their decorations up. That kind of level of decorations.
And for a mansion, too. They don't film in much of it.
No.
There's like a small handful of locations.
Yeah.
And the definition of a mansion is like, you know, I've been in what is considered a mansion, and it's not that big, but I mean, back when that house was built in like the 1800s, yeah, that was a mansion.
When the tallest building was a pile of sand. Yeah. Of course they think that building's huge.
So stuff like that, whatever. I mean, it's just a little hard to get into the mood, especially once the killer shows up. It just feels off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they mention how like the house mother is not going to let them have boys over.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide to have these boys over anyway. Their plan is to drug her.
Safest option.
I mean, why not?
No alternatives.
Just knock her out for like 10 hours and even to like make a joke like maybe she won't even get up. Like, this is not a good idea. And you have the house mother, Mrs. Jensen, and they have Nancy, who is the nice, naive girl and all this. You know, she's blonde, she's cute.
She's innocent.
Completely innocent. I mean, they really ham it up with us.
They do.
Like childlike innocence.
She has like pigtails kind of innocent.
Yeah, and just not wanting to participate in any of this party or anything. And they have her deliver the milk because they figure like she's more trustworthy.
Yeah.
And she feels super guilty about doing this.
Uh-huh. Honestly, she does a good job for not wanting to do it.
Right.
She did a good job delivering that milk.
Oh, this movie has a whole
So much
lot
milk.
of milk.
Lots of milk.
It's like I'm thinking of like watching this was there's a skit from The Kids in the Hall where like it's a dad sitting down with his son at the breakfast table and he's just messed up because he explains that he found out that the mom was having an affair. So he's just kind of dazed and he just keeps saying things all weird, but he'll be like, can't have cereal without a whole lot of milk. And I kept thinking of that throughout this whole movie.
Can't have cornflakes without a whole lot of milka.
The boys fly in on a private plane, and it's said in passing, probably one of the many bad ADR moments in this movie, about how the girls built an airstrip for the school where there's like no context of like spatial anything.
I was like, is this an island? Like, why do you have to fly in?
I mean, because he's a rich kid. And I think it's so he can get there faster.
But why build an airstrip?
In a field,
in
near
a field.
School. Where is this school? Is it in the middle of nowhere?
Do they need an airstrip for anything else?
Right. What kind of weird school project is it? Let's build an airstrip.
Right.
I mean, it has like the lights and everything. I mean, it is just as basic as you can get.
Yeah.
It's a few lights, flat land. That's it. Still really weird. It feels
very
like
random.
We had access to a plane.
Yeah.
We can get a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Let's shoot it.
They could have just said like, oh, they're gonna land at the little airport near the school. Way better. Still not great. Like that's
convenient that there's a private airport near here.
Yeah, a lot better than we built one.
Yeah. So TJ is like just meathead rich kid who also is there without his rich dad knowing that he's there. They really make sure that you know that that's a thing. And yeah, I don't. It's mentioned that what's her name, Leah, who is one of the girls, that TJ's her boyfriend, and she's just kind of in it for the money.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's really wants to just kind of take advantage of him, and this is kind of like a weird twist, is that the girls are super horny in this movie. They just want dudes.
Yeah.
Where usually it's the opposite in a slasher. So
an interesting reversal, honestly.
Yeah, but also definitely feels more to arouse the male viewers.
Written by a man.
Yes. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, it's written by a man.
Right before they even leave, there's another girl who was excused from the dinner because she said she wasn't feeling well, but she's actually sneaking out to meet her boyfriend. So this is like a whole nother separate thing.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he ends up like getting stalked by the killer outside while she just is in lingerie and then undresses out of it and just stands there naked.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It was like
very random.
What's happening here?
And he's just like, hurry up. Smoking a cigarette outside, waiting.
And the whole time I was like, well, she looks like she's ready.
Yeah, what more do you need?
Yeah, aren't they just gonna go have sex outside? Isn't that all that's happening here? Whatever. Just a good excuse to show boobs because written by a man.
Written by a man, yeah.
And he gets stabbed. Then she comes out and just gets stabbed right away.
Very bad kills, too. These ones are pretty weak.
Yeah, did you notice when he gets killed, there's a hand holding him down? He's being held down with the left hand of the killer, but like the right hand is crossing over to just more like get the knife in the shot type of thing.
Oh, I remember it being weird like that, yeah.
Yeah, it just looks weird.
It's just weird. It was very weird. He does fight back.
Not very well. I think, the element of surprise.
Right. He hits him with a big stick. Big old stick.
Yeah. There is definitely this is not a super killer by any means.
No, and I like that.
Definitely gets knocked down a bunch. Not
Mhm.
very good
No.
all the time at the kills, which is interesting. Or just super awesome. I guess it kind of depends. I think there was no choreographer for any fights.
Written by a bad writer.
Yeah, so with that out of the way, yeah. Then the girls go to the airstrip. And this is all like, there's so much terrible day for night in this.
Oh, it's so bad. Some of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was like, this is nighttime, right? Like they're carrying flashlights
That aren't on.
And it's just daytime.
It doesn't even necessarily look like they put a gel on it or anything to make it blue. Kind of. It just looks like we just made it too dark.
Yeah. They just lowered the brightness.
And you
That's
can
how it
totally
feels.
see just the sunlight hitting everything.
The shadows, those thick shadows from the sunlight.
Yeah.
You said, while we were watching, you said that it looked like they shot it all in the shade.
Oh, yeah, it does.
That's what it looks
they just
like.
went into like, where's a not sunny part of this?
Mhm.
These palm trees.
Yeah. And when they get to that very open airstrip that they built, it's just daytime. Like you just see it. The sky's like blue. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's one of my least favorite things in movies.
Yeah.
Like, man, 'cause I feel like nobody really gets it right, even when it's done pretty decent.
Mhm. Well,
I mean, I guess if I don't notice, then that's successful.
that movie Nope,
Yeah.
almost all day for night. I did not even know until like I found out after I watched the movie.
Huh.
All day for night, almost all day for night. That
Interesting.
movie nailed it.
I
But they had
guess
to
so.
use advanced special effects and like all this and that, and
Sure.
they filmed everything with like 2 cameras or something ridiculous. But anyway, back then, no, they
Yeah, I don't think this movie even had a second camera.
no.
Yeah, let's kind of talk about the characters here and get that out of the way.
Right.
So if we bring them up, the listeners can kind of know, and a refresher for ourselves. Yeah. So we mentioned Nancy, our milk-loving good girl. We have Melody, who's the feathered hair, loves outfit changes, and super horny.
Mm-hmm.
That's a trait for all of these girls, I suppose, except for Nancy.
Yeah.
We can't say specifically for Mrs. Jensen, though.
True.
We're not sure what she's up to. She could be super horny as well. That's her business. And she kept it that way in this movie. Leah, that we already mentioned, she's the annoying drama/dance horny girl. She must have I just love dance. Love being dramatic.
I want to be dancing in every scene.
Yeah, she is. She's like posing for like cars when they're leaving. And
Yeah.
dancing around, out wearing a leotard sometimes.
This is going to be big for me. Probably what you thought.
There's Sam. She's just horny. She doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Then there's British girl, where when she's talking in her British accent, I'm like, is she just doing a bad
It's
British
more like
accent, or is she just a bad actor?
British girl? Like British?
I'm not sure. It's like turned up to 11.
All of her lines were ridiculous too.
Oh, so cheesy. And then, the aforementioned just naked girl in window. And then we have TJ, like I said, meathead rich kid. There's Alex, who's the dorky dude with zero game.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his glasses. Oh no, he's nerdy. He doesn't even know why he's hanging around TJ. He even brings that up.
Yeah.
Because he does not fit in with this group of dudes.
Yeah.
And then there's just 2 other guys who are just, I don't know. They're just horny dead meat guys. They literally don't do anything.
Probably barely have any lines. That one guy sounds like Harrison Ford though.
Because he's mumbling.
Yeah. He's a low pitched mumble.
And then the other person at the school is the groundskeeper, Ralph,
Mm-hmm.
who is just big, creepy red herring.
Your average red herring. I saw him and I immediately just went like, nah, that's a red herring. Like, he's not the killer.
Yeah, and he just kind of like throughout this, I don't know if I have any of his like specific scenes or at all, but he just keeps popping up
Mm-hmm.
this night into like one time he just walks in Nancy's window
Yeah.
and comes into her room and he's just like, you need to read this. It is Bible. I'm looking out for you. I'm going to make sure nothing bad happens to you.
That lasts long.
But I was like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you're not creepy at all. And it never comes up that just always showing up being weird.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice too, like his like because he has like the red long underwear onesie on, and like when he goes to bend down by her, there's just a hole in his crotch. And it's like, is this supposed to be like making him extra weird? I don't know if that was intentional or what, but it just seemed weird. More, I don't know, this movie, I guess.
Yeah.
And this party is lame. This is one of the lamest parties.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't feel like a real party at all. It's just people just kind of hanging out. It starts off where it almost seems like it's going to be an interesting party because that guy's playing guitar and singing, and it's terrible.
It's really bad.
It is so bad. But then he says, "Oh, I'm not a good singer." Yeah. Thank you for acknowledging that, because it just seems like, oh no.
Yeah, he played the guitar fine.
Yeah. So I guess that guy, whoever he is, got a little bit of character, I suppose. Oh yeah, I wrote the song for my baby brother.
What's also weird about this party is that when they were like, they all are hanging out for maybe 10 minutes. Everyone hangs out in like the main living room area. Guy plays guitar, and they all just split off. And then there's never a party.
No, it's not much of a party at all.
No.
As a matter of fact, they waste no time splitting up, it seems.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Oh, British girl goes to get beer from the magic fridge that is shot at the best angles, so you never see what's inside it, because they always just reach in to an area where you can't see and pull out whatever they need.
They can't handle that continuity. Can't keep track of what's in that fridge.
I mean, you want some milk? Big jug of milk. What kind of beer do you want? Do you want a Budweiser or a PBR? They've got both in that fridge.
Sounds pretty great.
I mean, it is. If I had a magic fridge that I could just pull PBRs out of, I would be happy. Also, adding to that element of when was this made? Is it the present day?
Right.
I mean, aside from the look of the cans, so definitely some old school looking cans. A little bit more of that, like, kind of tall boy PBR look to them, rather than the squat 12-ounce cans we have now. But,
those Schwimpy cans.
Oh, you can still get tall boys, though. They're readily available.
Scary, too.
What's scary?
Tall boys.
Oh, is that the son of the tall man?
Tall boy.
Tall boy.
Oh, what a better movie.
Kind of wish you're watching something like that. Which, even that movie's like, what the heck is going on here? But somehow more comprehensible than this. Yeah, so she goes to get one of the guys a beer, like dead meat guy. And then she ends up getting confronted by a Santa, mask-wearing Santa, in the kitchen. And instantly he's just like, oh, take that silly thing off.
Take that stupid mask off. Something, whatever.
And then she just gets her throat slashed, which is probably the most interesting, like, visual kill in this.
Most gore, really.
Yeah, but not much arterial spray or anything coming out. Just dribbles.
Yeah.
It's a dribble.
She had, like, no blood in her.
Well, that's how the Brits are.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Just bloodless.
Bloodless heathens. Talk silly.
Yeah.
They call it football? What?
Oh, you know that they only kind of started doing that because soccer and football were pretty interchangeable for a long time. And then once it started getting more popular in the United States, they're like, well, they can't have our fancy sport.
They're just mad because they lost 2 wars against us.
Yeah.
Go drink some tea about it.
Yeah. Why don't you get some blood in you? We're just kidding. we do like England and all that. Pretty fun.
I'm probably like 12% British anyway.
Yeah, you maybe.
It's in my blood. Or lack thereof.
Oh. Anyway, we're never going to get through this.
No.
Yeah, so the dead meat boyfriend looks for British girl can't find her, wanders outside as you do, because like, oh, if they went to get a beer, they must have just gone outside where, you know, I can definitely be more vulnerable.
And we don't have to film inside the house.
Yeah. You know, there's an awkward fight again. Is this the guy who gets hit by the log, or was it that first guy? I think it might be this guy.
They're pretty much the same. I think it is that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy just gets like bashed in the head with a convenient brick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's way too brick-like to be a rock, I think.
Yeah.
Just happens to be there, mushy blood face. Just kind of, we'll just lay this on you and put blood on you.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
And they also get a quick burial.
They do, yeah.
Because before you know it, man, that Santa is just like patting down the dirt. They're buried. I like how later on, because that's just an ongoing theme.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody gets killed, a minute or two later, they're buried.
Yeah.
And at one point in time, there's a hand sticking out, and they just stop on the hand and cover it with dirt.
Yeah. Pretty funny. That's a pretty funny little gag.
Oh, yeah. But Nancy decides that she wants a whole lot of milk. And she goes to get some of that milka and notices that there's blood on the floor, and who else is there with her? One of the other girls.
Who cares?
And it's like, oh, Ralph must have cut himself on his shears that he's been walking around with constantly.
Yeah. Great explanation.
Yeah. So Nancy's like, I'll just clean this up. Way to just clean up the murder scene.
Mm-hmm. And there should be so much blood.
Oh my God, that entire kitchen. It's not a big kitchen either.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
It should just be like rotten with blood.
Yeah. But she's British, so there isn't.
Brief dribble. It's fine. Yeah, then this other couple, I don't know. They're having like this awkward chase scene where they're like, she's like, I'm the fastest girl in the school and you can't catch me. And the whole time, this dude is just, I don't know if he's acting like he's out of breath or if he's just literally out of breath.
Well, this was Meathead Guy, TJ, I think.
No, it's not TJ.
Oh, yeah. And isn't it Dancer Girl, though?
No, it's Sam, who's just horny.
Oh, yeah.
And then they decide to get it on in the living room because nobody's in there. I think it because of the Alex and Melody hookup.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just is like throwing herself on him. He's like, I don't know.
So indecisive.
Which, fine.
Yeah.
Nobody should be pressured into sexual activity with anybody.
Yeah.
Especially a stranger.
And he was.
And yeah, they're strangers. They don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just really kind of uncomfortable about it, which, you know, good for him.
Yeah.
He's, you know, he's respecting his body.
Right. He also looks like the Riddler.
From the Batman.
Yeah. That's the first thing I said when I saw him. I was like, that dude looks like the Riddler.
Yeah.
Or I thought that, yeah. Like glasses, shaggy, same kind of shaggy hair.
Definitely not as good of an actor as Paul Dano.
No. No.
So what you're saying is that this is a Riddler origin story?
It is. Yeah.
Ooh, think about that, Dongles, when you're watching this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You want some more insight into the Batman? Watch this.
Hey, the time period matches up. They said it was today. Present day.
Yeah. Whenever the Batman takes place. No, it was a little bit later than this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when Sam and that dude, after their chase and stuff, they're getting it on in like the living room, and they're like, oh no, we shouldn't be doing this here. What if somebody sees us?
Yeah.
And then they're like, whatever.
In the living area where everybody walks through.
Where everybody was.
Yeah.
Just moments earlier, because they can only film in a couple of rooms in this mansion.
Right next to the kitchen. What if someone wants some milk?
Right. You just take your milk outside like Nancy does, because, you know, nothing beats a good, like, goblet of milk outside at night to relax. And while she's out there, she hears sexy time noises, which sounds really bad. It doesn't even really sound like sex is happening. It's just like a, ooh. It's like the weirdest ADR.
Yeah, it's bad.
It does not. I mean, I'm not a sexpert, but this does not sound like sex. And she goes and peeps on him.
Yeah.
She's just like sits down with her
chalice of milk.
and watches them awkwardly get it on, because nobody makes out or has sex in this movie like real human beings.
No.
I'm not sure. You have a porn guy. You think he would have like some knowledge of how this is supposed to work.
It looks like somebody just playing with like two dolls and they're just like mashing them together. Oh, they're kissing, they're kissing.
Like Dark Helmet.
Yeah, like Dark Helmet and Spaceballs, yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. Because of none of it. And it just kind of goes on too long, too. It's like, well, hey, let's get as much footage as we can of you making out, because we'll just use it to pad out this movie.
Yeah, boring.
And this is kind of like, anytime anybody's getting frisky, it tends to be the most boring part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's the only time this movie drags, really.
Really, yeah.
Because this movie's like pretty on top of things and feels pretty well paced, actually.
Right, because after what's her name, Alice? The nice girl? Nancy. Oh, geez. After Nancy's done drinking her milk or done watching.
Ooh, but she does see Chekhov's crossbow.
Yes, Chekhov's suit of armor and crossbow.
You caught that right away.
Yeah.
I saw the crossbow and I was like, oh, definitely going to be a crossbow kill.
I saw that suit of armor. I was like, please, let the killer be in that.
Which the killer is.
The killer is. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's one that did surprise me, though. Because I thought for sure, just crossbow is going to come into play in this movie.
See a Santa hand come out and grab the crossbow.
But it's like way high up.
It is.
How the person in the suit of armor even just like pulled it down. But that whole movement was pretty quick.
Yeah.
And just like right through that dude's melon. Which isn't the right angle.
No.
For how that would actually work according to their spatial relation that's been established.
It's decent gore, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun effect.
But then the chick gets her head cut off.
And it just bounces off because they were on a bearskin rug too. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time when you could just, hey, let's lounge out and have sex on top of this dead animal. Fun.
Great.
It has a face.
Yeah.
And after the head bounces off the bear head, somebody just like tosses a cup of blood on the bear head. Just bloop.
And it had a sound effect too.
It was like a cartoon.
Yeah. It was so funny. Off cue. So off cue. Head flies off, and then it's like a second, then the blood.
Yeah. Well, they only had one shot.
Right.
You mean you can't wash that blood out of a bear head very easy, I'm sure. 10 days. Come on, let's go. Chewing on the gum. We got to be heading the film. Better get it right. I'm assuming that's how he talked.
Oh, geez, sorry, boss. I threw the cup of blood at the wrong time. That's fine.
Don't worry about it.
We'll keep it.
We're going to show some boobs. Get some butts and some seats. Make a quick buck. Then it's just like the next day.
Yeah.
The next day, and TJ and Leah are just having breakfast, and Mrs. Jensen's there, and she's like, well, you boys shouldn't have been here. What? They're just hanging out?
Because they said that their plane broke down.
But there's just missing people, too. Like, where's the other people that came with them?
Yeah.
And nobody seems too concerned about this at all.
Where's the couple that got killed, like, right away? Random lingerie chick.
Right. Nobody's concerned what happened to her.
They never even get brought up again.
No. And there's also two other couples missing, or just the one? Yeah, there's two couples missing at this point. Two couples are missing.
Yeah.
And nobody cares. And they're just hanging out, like no big deal. Well, they'll show up eventually.
Yeah.
And, well, you boys can stay here, but you shouldn't. It's not right. You're just already just muddling all of this. It's like it's just said to make it work. We got to have her in the scene, but oh no, quick, write that it's just okay.
Yeah.
Or just do it on the fly.
Yeah.
Hey, boss, it says here in the script that there's not supposed to be any boys. We'll just have them say something.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then they just start like frolicking about as the day goes on. Like TJ and Leah just hanging out, picnicking, drinking beer. Got some more PBR tall boys going on. More people getting chased around. Melody and Alex are chasing each other around. Like, are they 12?
Yeah.
Or 12 even seems too old.
Yeah.
Are you 8? Are you being flirty with a girl at 8?
And also, Alex is like at least interested in her now.
Oh, yeah, because they got it on.
Yeah. So now he's like, okay.
She made him get naked in the bed.
Yeah. And it's weird, too, because Alex, after that, for like a certain amount of time, he just kind of acts like all the other guys. Like, he's just kind of, I don't know, like, oh, I had sex. And then he just becomes a bro. Like, just like that.
That's what happens.
I guess so. Turn into a bro overnight.
Sex changes a man, son. Just become one of the guys after that. Everything is just locker room talk from there on.
Oh, this is the part where, because like Nancy's just like walking around outside. I think she might be looking for the other couples.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex just thinks that she's Melody, even though they're wearing completely different colored outfits.
And have different colored hair.
Like, not similar at all. Thinks it's Melody, and just like, he runs up on her. Of course, Nancy's freaked out, too.
Yeah, and then he apologizes.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to still chase her into some shrubbery. Oh.
And of course, Nancy stumbles upon the corpse of the groundkeeper dude.
Who just springs up.
Yeah, like a vampire rising out of a casket. Just like sits up.
Just some type of wound on his head.
Yeah.
Just nondescript wound. And then there's like this weird red, it fades to red at this point, which you can see in the trailer.
Ooh.
When you watch it. But yeah, because all the surprises are in the trailer.
Yeah.
You just don't get any of the fun awkwardness.
Yeah.
Now there's a problem.
A body's been discovered.
A body's been discovered. Other people are missing, but still nobody's like too overly concerned about the missing people still. And TJ's upset because he doesn't, because this is where you get Detective Polanski's there, the cop. And, he's like, we're going to contact your parents because they need to know. TJ's like, you can't get a hold of my dad because I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm a rich guy and I'm just going to throw my weight around and get my way because screw laws, I'm rich.
He had a very angry white guy approach to it.
Yeah, he's super pissed.
Yeah.
Which it never even gets brought up after this, even whether or not any parent has actually been contacted.
Probably not.
Probably not. And this Detective Polanski really takes this moment to go, now's my time to act.
Yeah.
And he goes on has a whole little monologue moment.
Well, like, because Nancy's all scared. She's like, oh, I'm scared. And he, like, holds
her face all weird. Like, underneath. Like, just holds her jaw.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's super awkward.
It's one of 2 times Nancy gets just pawed and held by a grown man.
Awkwardly.
None of it feels natural.
No.
But man, he really gives it.
He does.
He gets one time to shine. Really just knocks it out of the park.
Sure does. Give that man a Grammy.
A Grammy?
I don't know. I get those confused.
That's the music one.
Emmy?
Emmy is more for television.
Pulitzer Prize.
There you go. He also tells these 2 cops that he's leaving behind that under no circumstances can they touch any of these girls. What was your impression of these cops?
Immediately, I was like, oh, these guys look like mobsters.
They do.
They do. They look Italian.
And hey, not saying, all Italians are in the mob. But these guys look like they're in the mob.
Like, my friends have been watching a lot of Sopranos, and I saw it's like on, and I see those mobsters, 1 for 1. Just looked like he was like from Sopranos.
Yeah, that one guy he's got 1 too many buttons unbuttoned on his shirt. Gold chain.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy, like, I don't know. Their suits look just kind of, they're up to no good.
Yeah.
There's just something about them. They're sleazy.
Yeah.
Especially the unbuttoned shirt guy, who kind of looks like Gene Simmons from Kiss without makeup on. Not the most handsome man. I'm just gonna say that.
Why do you think they started wearing makeup?
No, they had it on and then they took it off, and then everybody just went, ugh.
That's even worse.
Put it back on. Put it back on. We want to be respected without the makeup. Nope, put it back on.
Please.
Just do it. We don't care if it looks like you're a melting Kiss action figure. Please put the makeup back on.
Like, could you imagine if Mini Kiss didn't wear any of the makeup? You know Mini Kiss, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
How would you know that they're Mini Kiss without the makeup?
Exactly.
They need that makeup.
Mm-hmm.
What's the appeal? I don't get it. Anyway, way off topic.
Mini Kiss. Wow.
I did not expect Mini Kiss to get brought up.
No.
Best miniaturized Kiss band. Just gonna say that.
Are there more?
I would assume so.
Can we get more? Can we get all of them together at once?
Is there mini Kiss?
Oh, is there like Baby Kiss? Or is just a bunch of babies?
Kiss babies? I'm not gonna do a Baby Kiss song parody right now.
No.
Dongles, send us your Baby Kiss parody.
Yes. Yes.
Record it.
Yes.
Send it on in.
Absolutely.
We'll play it on the next episode.
Please.
Guaranteed. Because there's nothing we love more than babies and Kiss. Anyways, everybody's having an awkward dinner. Like, Leah's just on top of TJ's lap at the dinner table. Unacceptable. I'm sorry. I don't care how close you are, how loose you're going. This is a proper dinner.
Yeah.
Mrs. Jensen prepared this. You have guests. You are a guest.
You think Mrs. Jensen would have been like, hey.
Yeah. Hit him with a ruler or something.
Right. No guys are allowed. I mean,
Mhm.
granted, these guys kind of have an excuse to stay, but like, whoa.
Yes, they have to stay. They're
Yes.
not allowed to leave.
But like, come on now.
And the not sleazy cop, but also sleazy cop, he's like, I'm going outside. And he's got to like
Spins the chamber.
on the
His
revolver. And just does like snapping it closed and puts it back in the holster. I was like, oh yeah.
That's never going to get used.
He's armed and dangerous.
What's the opposite of Chekhov's gun?
I don't know. This gun.
This gun, yeah.
So he goes out to patrol the grounds, and then gross cop, because Nancy's like, I'm scared. And he's like, hey, don't worry about it. And then he puts his hand on her arm, which I guess you want to, hey, just calm
Comfort.
down.
Yeah.
Yes, he's trying to be comforting, but then he just keeps it on there way too long. And it just starts feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, why stop touching Nancy, please? Everybody just stop. Ugh. Just feels gross.
Does.
But then Leah is getting kind of flirty with Gross Cop because he's talking about, needing a place to crash and sleep.
Yeah.
Till he goes on patrol. And she's like, oh, I'll help you to a room.
Which is, of course, her room.
Yes, it is her room. But then she returns. And he's loving that, though. He's like, oh, yeah. I get to sleep in a girl's room. Oh, yeah. Because I'm gross.
Very gross.
And she goes back to the dinner and then is like, I'm just going to take a shower. So, see ya. And TJ's like, well, I'll join you.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope. I'm taking it alone. So, you know what that means.
She's going to take an hour-and-a-half shower.
With Gross Cop.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're doing in there. I kind of don't want to know.
I really don't want to know.
And also, did you notice, and maybe it's just the way the film is, but her door to her room has like a chain lock on the outside.
Yeah.
What? Nobody thought about this while filming in this location, that maybe that would seem odd. Is Mrs. Jensen locking them in their rooms?
That would have been smart.
Actually, it probably would have been.
Yeah.
As long as the killer's not in there. But I guess the killer could just unchain the lock from the outside.
Right.
Or chain them in.
Or if the killer breaks in
later.
Breaks in through the window.
Well,
the door's chained.
Yeah. Well, Alex does check the windows and everything with Nancy. They go around and he just awkwardly checks the windows. Let me just shake this quick.
Yeah.
And it's like anybody could kick this in.
Yeah.
Because it's just like moving so much.
Yeah.
And it's just a big giant window.
They also make a very big deal of keeping all the doors locked to the outside, which does not happen.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Nobody thinks about locking a door anyway.
No.
Hey, it's like 1980, I mean, I guess 1979 probably when they filmed it. And, nobody had to lock their doors. Everybody was safe.
Yeah. That time where all those serial killers were always running about.
Yeah.
Stealing people's eyes or something weird.
It was like peak serial killer time. It was like 70s and 80s, man.
Yeah.
That was a heyday.
It really was.
You could just go serial killing all you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to catch you. No DNA. You're like at least like 15 years away from that being a real thing.
No kidding.
Nowadays it's like they'll find like fiber evidence from and track down like your duct tape and where it was manufactured and who bought it from where.
So boring. No one gets away with murder these days.
Unless you're rich.
Correct. How are they going to do all those like middle-aged white women drinking wine and talking about true crime? If there's no more murders, what happens when there's no more left?
I mean, we've got enough old murders. Keep people occupied for a while.
But the best part about this killer is that you get to see him kill sleazy guy right away.
Yeah, because it goes in there with a bloody knife.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, when was that knife used?
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to see that part. maybe that was the throat slashing one.
Mm.
And the killer's like, better dab it around a little bit so it looks cooler, more dangerous.
Gets me in the mood. Gets you hyped up.
Yeah. I'm going to flash this to anybody who happens to be watching. All the viewers at home.
Yeah.
Look at my knife.
It's like Jim from The Office looking at the camera.
Yeah. And a second peekaboo corpse action here as Sam's head is hanging up in the shower.
Pretty cool.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also where that's a good looking head though.
It is a good looking head. You know what I wish happened?
Huh.
Leah goes to take a shower, la da 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 da, probably dancing because she's crazy. Doesn't see the head, turns on the shower and just starts like spraying out. It's all bloody and gross.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Or if like the shower head was coming out of the mouth.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
that'd be great.
But she doesn't get killed here.
No, she does not. She goes insane.
Mm-hmm.
And just is like that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, because the killer reveals their identity to her.
Yeah.
And that drives her mad.
But since she went off with Gross Cop and Alex and Nancy are being a wholesome milk couple because they like a whole lot of milka. Melody decides to hook up with TJ, who's totally cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you mentioned that he looks like Superman.
He does.
Side profile. And I agree. I was thinking the same thing. There's certain like animated versions of Superman or like comic book versions even too that have like this profile.
Yeah.
Very like lantern jawed.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a shorter nose.
Same haircut really, except for the famous curl.
Yeah. And I was like, man, too bad this guy didn't get a chance to be Superman.
For real.
He would have been that good. Like he just had to bulk up his arms a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like strangely muscular, bulky, but not.
Yeah.
It was an interesting.
He also had a big head. So
head.
that kind of makes their bulk look a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
In proportion.
I know. My big giant German head was making me look like not fit.
Yeah, my big giant German head making me look like a skeleton.
I'm like up and go pop. Just going through life with my big giant German head. Man, there's times where like even the trucker hat, like the snapbacks, just don't. I'm almost like putting that all the way. I've got like one or two knobs on there, and that thing's barely sitting on my head.
One day I was like a bad hair day. I was like, okay, I need to put a hat on, but I couldn't find mine. So I took my roommate Michael's hat. I was like, oh, I'll just wear this for, half an hour. It didn't even go on my head at all. It was like a little kid hat. Because I'll admit, a larger head, and he has a very tiny one. So that was funny.
Yeah, I did a hat swap with a friend once. Like we were just kind of goofing around, and my head was bigger than his, and he was a much bigger man than I. I was like, oh no. Like it just kind of sank on him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no. Big giant head. But enough about our head sizes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that cop who was outside got killed.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, because when you're patrolling looking for a murderer and a person,
anything suspicious.
Yeah, and a person in a Santa Claus costume
and mask
approaches you. You're like, Why do you have that silly costume on?
Boom, axe to the head.
Axe to the face. Decent gore.
Decent gore, yeah. And he just kind of falls down and awkwardly dies.
Yeah. Not any build-up.
No, it just happens.
That's true for, like, all of these kills.
Yeah. And strangely enough, once he gets the axe to the head, that's when he's got the gun in his hand.
Yeah.
I don't think he pulls the gun out beforehand.
I at least didn't see him do it.
I didn't see him do it.
He might have just, like, on the axe and, like, I don't know, in that panic, that moment, pulled it out. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's dead now. He never gets brought up again.
Nope. Nobody even finds him either.
No. Poor guy.
The forgotten one.
Maybe got buried right away.
That's true.
Mm.
Doesn't take long to dig a shallow grave.
Nope.
Minutes. So this killer, yeah. This whole time you're like, this killer is everywhere. Burying people like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is some crazy physics. And remember, I said, not supernatural. Not an unstoppable killing machine either. But Melody and TJ are wandering around outside because they're not supposed to be outside, but they're doing it because,
they can't find a room in that giant mansion.
they can't help themselves other than to just not obey the rules for safety. So they wander around and decide to make out by a tree. Just the worst making out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I like how it keeps cutting back to different stuff. And it seems to get more weird and awkward every time it comes back to them.
Yeah.
To one point where he's like literally just like nibbling on her shoulder or something. And she's just standing there with her eyes closed. But it's all just like so they can set up his kill.
Mm-hmm.
And you see like the wire come down.
Yeah.
So when he turns his head, he just gets caught in the hoop. And then the killer with both arms just curls him to death.
Absurd strength.
I think, though, you'd have, like, better leverage. The way that they're sitting in the tree.
You would, but that's still pretty crazy.
I don't think, because it's not like he gets lifted up.
Right.
I mean, it just, like, cuts his throat and chokes him. And a little bit of blood dribbles.
Blood dribbles.
Maybe you have British heritage.
Yeah.
And Melody runs off in a panic. She runs inside. Thank goodness that door was unlocked.
Right.
I mean, because she just comes in, does not lock
Actually,
the door.
it wasn't locked.
Oh.
Or it was locked. Because
Oh.
she's, like, pounding on the door. And that's when Alex opens it up for her.
Do you notice, like, because he starts getting more brave and he's like, oh, I'm not going to let anything hurt you, Nancy.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it because he had sex that made him, like, more manly?
I'm a man now.
Or is it just, like, that innocent, like, I'm not going to let anything happen to this girl because she's sweet and innocent?
It's probably that. Because he went from hunky bro back to his nerdy self.
360'd it.
He really did, yeah.
He almost went down a bro path.
Close. He just ended up becoming the Riddler.
Yeah. Then the killer shows up, just walks over to everybody, and reveals their identity. And wouldn't you know it, it's Mrs. Jensen!
What?
Oh my god! It was her daughter that was killed 2 years ago. And I'll give it this. 2 years, good time to wait. Don't do it on the 1 year anniversary. Don't do it even like 5, 10, any significant number that people expect. 2 years, 3 years I think might have been ideal.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also going for revenge. So some of those girls may have been out of school.
Right.
And was it even those girls? I don't even know.
Well, yeah, because what's her name? Mrs.
Jensen.
Yeah, Mrs. Jensen starts chasing Nancy down.
Yeah, Nancy's like, I didn't even go to
This is
school.
my first year here. Yeah. It's like, you killed her.
So she's crazed.
Yes.
Seeking revenge. I think she's just taking it out on whoever's there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in particular because even if it was an accident, I bet you a lot of those parents probably pulled those girls out of that school.
Oh, definitely.
Especially if there was any implication that they were possibly involved in some type of even accidental killing.
Mm-hmm.
All that money and stuff, like a little too risky. Get them out of that school. A little too much attention. People are going to start looking at taxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want, you just kind of want to just avoid that. So, yeah, obviously crazy at this point. And awkward chase ensues. Lots of just not really good physical fighting and falling over.
Mind you, this whole time, too, Alex and weird.
Alex just disappears.
Disappears. Same with crazy. What's her name?
Leah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Leah
she's just wandering around.
going crazy.
Yeah, like they can't get anything out of her anyway.
No.
Melody just decides to take off, runs to the airfield, runs to the airfield where the pilot is just sleeping underneath the plane. She wakes him up and he's just like, what the heck? She's like, they're all dead.
Yeah.
They're dead. We got to get out of here.
Which this guy's credit. He just
he's
up to it.
He's like, oh man, I got to finish fixing this plane.
Yeah.
Which he's been stuck there. Has anybody notified him of what is happening?
No.
He's just there on an airstrip for
cops
days.
Didn't even do it during the day.
Yeah, you don't.
He also would have been like a suspect, maybe.
Absolutely a suspect.
Yeah, no one saw him. Time of the murders.
TJ said that he's probably just getting high the whole time, and that the only he doesn't like the pilot either because saved his dad or helped his dad out one time. I'm assuming it's a Vietnam thing. That's my guess anyway.
So he doesn't like him for saving his dad,
or who knows? I don't know.
Whatever.
He just doesn't like.
It doesn't matter because in this scene,
yeah. So pilot's like, oh, I'm gonna fix this plane. So he gets out a screwdriver and
starts poking at that plane
doing
he doesn't
a thing.
own.
Just making it look like he's doing something. And meanwhile, masked Santa climbs in the cockpit and turns on the propeller, which would not instantly work.
No, it would spin up. It would take time. And also, dude hears this happening.
Yes, and is like, wait, what? Looks up, sees the killer in the plane, and just still stands there until the propeller can chop them both in the bits. But you don't see it. You just see goop.
Yeah.
Goop on propeller flung on the plane.
Disappointing.
But yeah.
Give me an arm flying away, at least.
I don't, and it's like, are they both dead? Is he just dead? What happened here? Doesn't matter at all.
That plane seemed to be working too.
Yeah. So I guess he fixed it.
Good on him.
Just in time to get killed by the plane.
Yeah.
The irony. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, the killer's now after Nancy again. And they end up on the balcony.
The
balcony. And it's extremely unclear as to what happens here because they don't show what happens. Just Mrs. Jensen just falls.
Yeah.
And seems kind of okay.
She walks forward and then just falls off.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. There's no
pretty
pushing.
Crazy.
There's no pushing.
No.
She just falls off it, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. And then, just when you're thinking, none of this makes sense. How is getting from point A to point B? I've had enough with the wackiness of this killer. And then another Santa-clad person comes over and picks up Mrs. Jensen and carries her inside. Then you hear, you did this to her. You killed my wife. Oh. And I'm like, oh, she was married. And it's revealed that it's Detective Polanski. Oh, murder. Is it a great twist? I don't think it's great.
It's good.
But it makes sense. It makes all the weird teleportations and quick burials and stuff. Makes it make way more sense.
The lack of actual policing.
Yes. And holy cow, he was in on it. There was 2 killers. And I don't even think he's a cop.
No.
I don't think he's a cop. I don't think his buddies were cops.
Definitely not.
Even though they call him chief, so then he could be in the mob.
Right.
And he's just their boss.
Yeah.
They work for him. So it's kind of mind-blowing.
But it doesn't really matter because almost right away, because he's going to kill Nancy.
And then the movie remembers that Alex is in the movie.
Oh, shoot, that's right. We didn't kill him or anything.
Yeah. And he shows up with the crossbow and shoots Polanski dead right through the body, his torso. And he falls on top of his wife. So I'm assuming that arrow went into her just in case she wasn't dead, all the way dead. Because that fall didn't seem that bad.
Killed her daughter.
That's true. I mean, 1 awkward fall, but 2?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it was that high up either.
No. And Nancy, I think, does a decent job acting here because she's just screaming. She's still just even though both killers are dead at this point, she's still just. And
then Alex gives her the good old fashioned slap. Or does he slap melody earlier. Which one does he slap? I don't remember. I don't know.
It doesn't matter because it's a bad trope.
It's a terrible trope and also written by a man.
Yeah, and like when Alex is trying to calm Nancy down here, he's just like shaking her. It's okay.
Because when you're feeling upset about something, it's really gonna get you to calm down.
Good old shake.
Yeah, being abused.
Right.
Physical abuse, always the way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that as a kid. Quit crying, I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah.
I'm already crying. I don't need to be hit, thank you. It's not going to solve anything.
No.
I'm assuming at this point they celebrate. It's a nice glass of milk.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, I forgot one small detail because doesn't Alex go to call the police?
I was just about to bring that up.
And right when he picks up the phone line gets cut. The movie goes, oh, wait a second, we didn't show this earlier. Just make that phone line cutting scene earlier. It could have happened way earlier.
Throw it 2 scenes ago.
Right. Or even once the cop starts patrolling, the phone line gets
Killer's
cut.
outside too.
Yeah. Establishing that there's a killer outside.
Right.
And they don't have a phone line. Oh, we also forgot to mention, just because I know you like the character of Mrs. Ronsoni, who comes over to visit. It's Mrs. Jensen's friend, who's just in this movie to steal things from there. She just starts taking stuff off the shelf.
Yeah, she's there for 1 scene.
Kind of steals the scene though.
She does, yeah, because she's just I hate these dumb kids. She's just she's kind of cranky.
She's I buried 3 husbands.
Yeah. And she knows she's gonna die because she's sick, and she's just yeah, whatever. I'm not unfamiliar with death. Oh, jeez, never gets brought up again.
Yeah. Also, played by Judy Hess. So related to the director, I'm guessing. I can't find any information on her or their relation, but they have the same last name.
She's the second photo on IMDb.
She kind of looks like him, so I'm assuming it's his sister. Just comes in, does a fun character bit, and bails.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I also could establish her as a red herring, too.
True, because she didn't like the girls too much. And she's going to die, so what does she have to lose?
Right, and she was talking about how the Grim Reaper is coming.
Yeah. And I kind of wish she was the killer, just because I liked her character.
So there are a couple things I noticed in this that could allude to be, or could be perceived as clues to who the killer or killers are. At least Mrs. Jensen. Because before the killer goes out, there's a picture of the girl who was killed at the beginning of the movie. And it does when they show the picture, it flashes between the photo and her, just so you know, or it does that ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
And it's just a list of names, but they just take this very dry marker and X all the names out at once after putting on gloves. And I was yes.
I kind of wish.
Okay.
I wish it was a thing where every time one of them got killed, it would cut to the hand crossing off the name.
That would have been good.
Yeah. Cutting back to that.
And is it the names of the actual girls who were there 2 years ago, or the names of the girls who are just there?
Yeah.
Is it the list of girls who are staying and not getting picked up by their parents?
Mm-hmm. They could have done a thing in the movie. Oh, what is the name of the movie? I just watched it. That bad B movie. Slasher B movie.
Pieces?
They could have done it how it is in Pieces, where they keep on cutting back to the killer, his room and all the weird stuff that he had in there, and it builds up the mystery. You get a little bit more clues to who the killer is, and by the end you recognize the location and you piece it together. You piece it together yourself.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We just had a little mini Pieces episode.
Yeah.
Which honestly, hey Tongles, you should have picked Pieces
right
for Slasher Summer Camp.
Yeah.
It's an obvious choice.
It is.
And Brennan just stumbled upon it on his own and watched it. So I'm sure it holds up with multiple viewings.
Likely.
I guess.
The best part's the ending.
Yeah. But that's a different movie.
That is a different movie. This is a worse movie. Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely one who likes both of these movies they were talking about. And it's not because they're great, but that makes them great.
Yeah.
It's one of those scenarios. But anyways, yeah, so the twist and the clues involved would be Mrs. Jensen when Polanski's there. You can't see if there's a ring or not, but she's definitely like, it's just out of the frame where she's like fiddling around where a wedding ring would be. And while she's like, obviously like just intensely staring at him.
Great detail.
There's also that, because that picture that's shown earlier too, she has that picture in the area where she's sewing. That girl's picture is hanging up, and it's just like shoved on a frame that's already there. So I'm thinking too with that, it could be dismissed as just like, she just worked at the school and everybody misses this girl.
Right. Nope.
Just peering out for revenge. Very, very Friday the 13th, which is interesting.
Before Friday the 13th.
Before Friday the 13th. Angry mom. Dual Killers, I don't know if that was necessarily done before.
Hashtag To All a Good Night did it first.
I mean, this is the movie that all movies are based on.
Correct.
You know, all your favorite tropes.
Ooh, do you
like
think,
milk.
Do you think the scene of Killer Detective Guy, when he's doing that dumb monologue, I'm maybe thinking that he was acting really well, because he was acting like he was acting bad, giving that monologue, because he didn't mean what he was saying. He was planning on killing all those people.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, obviously, it's just bad acting.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't actually good
well,
acting.
It's not the worst, but it's just...
It's hammed up.
It's yeah, he's chewing that scenery.
Mm-hmm.
It's his, like we said, his moment to shine. Yeah, so there are a couple things in here that, you know, I mean, I guess if you really wanted to solve a mystery, it could be there.
I'd say this is better than Knives Out.
I don't know.
Ryan Johnson.
I think you're just bitter because he ruined Star Wars.
Hey, it wasn't just him. Oh, they could have done so much, because Santa made a list. He should have been checking it twice. Yeah, the Santa killers had that list.
Do you think Santa had to go like, oh no, now I got to write down, we got to put TJ on here. What was TJ's friend's name? I don't know. I'm just gonna write down horny dead meat.
Guitar guy? Question mark.
Oh yeah. I guess we can move on to our rating by how we say movie and whether or not recommend it.
I'd say this is a movie because it's pretty fun. It's a movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it. It's not perfect. It drags a little bit, but overall it's a pretty fast-paced slasher. The kills aren't really all that good, which is disappointing, but I recommend watching it with someone else. It's fun to poke fun at.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it too. I mean, it's enjoyable. To your point of watch it with friends, absolutely do that.
Yes,
but I don't think it's required.
Yeah,
because I found it just as entertaining alone as I did with watching it with you. I definitely wanted to talk about it after watching it because I was like, this just needs to be discussed.
It does.
We had other ideas. We were still going to try to convince your mom to watch Krampus and
another year
and watch it. Watch it with us and talk about it on the podcast. And I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Probably not.
I think she was pretty happy to get out of that one because I don't think she could handle that movie.
Probably not.
And we haven't seen it yet. We've just been holding off on watching
really
it.
Really have been. Yeah.
And so it just kind of came up and just became a. Well, you want to do this Christmas movie? And you just said yes. Sounds interesting.
You said there was lots of milk. I was very interested.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm lactose intolerant to a certain degree, and milk doesn't sit well with me, but I'm going to take some Lactaid and drink some milk after this, I think.
Out of a wine glass.
Yeah, I got a good goblet, a chalice, if you will. It's a PBR one, but I think I'm going to move on from PBR to milk.
Make the switch.
Whole lot of milk.
Whole lot of milk.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. It's almost exactly what you want out of a movie like this.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna say this too, just because like I'm not a huge fan of nudity. You could do it without the nudity.
Definitely, yeah.
And it would still be fun.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of choices. There's things that we didn't touch on with the acting.
Mm-hmm.
And just line deliveries sometimes that are just so bonkers.
Yeah, the script is nonsensical. Characters will just say things And you'll be like, what?
Yeah. It's just hard to describe. It needs to be experienced.
Yeah.
Even if you've listened to us talk about it and you think, good to go, no.
It's like an AI wrote the script.
Kind of. Yeah, it just knew enough about what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with a lot of these old slashers. It was just let's make one on the cheap. You can make some money off it. It's just a good way to get some experience acting.
Yeah.
Or directing, whatever, special effects, all that.
Give it a gimmick.
Uh-huh.
Interesting location. I will say too, the Christmas in this movie almost non-existent. Yes, it's a Santa killer, but there's no focus on Christmas, and it's set in California.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's an afterthought.
It really feels like that.
Who knows if that was the intent the whole time, is to do this as a Christmas movie. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a good excuse to get people out of the school,
right,
and whatnot. But the mind-bending nature of it is part of its charm.
Exactly.
Next month is going to be the start of our 6th year.
Wow.
Doing this. So we have an idea of what we're going to do. I'm not going to reveal it because that always seems to curse.
It's got to be a surprise. Yeah, that too.
I feel like curses every time. Like we just end up messing something up. But yeah, we got a pretty fun idea. We might actually cover something else too. We might do a dongle talk or drive time special.
Oh.
We'll see if we got time. Because I've been pretty busy with work and you don't live here anymore. So getting together is not always the easiest.
Yeah, we've made it work so far though. Really
well.
Yeah.
I mean, holiday help.
Yeah.
But, I should probably not continue this longer because I have to go in for a night shift. So there is that. And then editing. Gonna be a blast. Can't wait.
Lots of milk.
Oh, lot of milk. Yeah, that's it for me. How about you?
I got none.
Alrighty then. So visit our TeePublic store, buy stuff because you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Maybe you have a little extra something in your pocket because Grandma sent you that check.
Right. Get yourself something for Christmas this year.
Get it for you because you know what, Dongles? You deserve it.
That's right.
Stop thinking about other people. Think only about yourself for a
and
change.
of us. Think about us.
Yeah.
Give us a gift in money.
This podcast doesn't pay for itself, There's all sorts of costs. Like Brennan needs beverages. He needs his
the Pepsi supply.
He needs Pepsi. I'm only drinking water this time. Yeah. Make it so we can record when I can get drunk. And I can be even less coherent.
Right.
Yeah, contact us. Like we mentioned earlier. Send in your recordings of your baby kiss songs.
Please.
What is the email on that?
I think it's isn't
Oh, wait.
Oh, it's corruptedyouthpod@gmail.com. Just me on that one?
Just you on that
one.
Oh,
what the?
Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
And speaking of thanks, thanks to our listeners, the Dongles, especially the ones in the Dongle Den on Facebook. It's been a bizarre oasis lately. It's been fun though. There's definitely some other podcasts posting quite a bit. Ricky Morgan is posting a lot for Dr. Movie in there. That's kind of like our drive time special. He does it while he's like driving to and from work sometimes.
You hack.
No, we like him.
Yeah, I don't mean that.
Yeah, and thanks to our the fellow podcasters who are on there.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for supporting us and being cool dudes.
Yeah.
Hang in there, Dongles.
Bye.
Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Can't have cornflakes without a whole lot of milka.